Hello friends, I welcome you all to this video. We are with the chapter 3 discrete time random processes to learn advanced digital signal processing subject. Up till now we have been introduced to the various concepts for the random variables, the ensemble averages along with the joint cases for the increase into the random variables we have seen, and into the previous video we have been introduced to what exactly the random processes are and can be represented with the help of random variables. Now, as like for the random variables, we had the four important ensemble averages. For the random processes also, we have the ensemble averages, and those are very important in this probability theory. So let us introduce them in this topic titled random processes ensemble averages. So let us begin to see the detail. So here we shall start exactly with our topic. As the previous video was confined to the understanding of what exactly the random processes are there, we must recall that the discrete time random processes especially are nothing but the indexed sequence of the random variables. Thereupon we have seen the pictorial representation to map the elementary events a part of the sample space represented by capital omega onto the indexed axis here. So the indexing is done by the letter small n that we usually take for the discrete time here. So here for the random variable, as the important ensemble averages are the mean square error, then the variance and the standard deviation. Out of these four, the two are very important. Those are nothing but the mean and the variance. So in the similar fashion, for the random processes also, we have the importance of mean and the variance here. So let us first of all take for the discrete time random processes the mean here. So for the generation of the deterministic sequence, the mean that is important, and when it is represented for the random process x of n, it can be simply denoted mathematically as m suffix x as a function of n, and it is nothing but represented as the expected value that we have the usual denotion. So capital E, and within the curly brackets the variable here. So here it is not the variable, here it is the process. So it is x of n here. So this is the mean or the expected value of the random process x of n here. Now with the knowledge of mean here, we shall continue for the another important ensemble average, and that is nothing but the variance here. So the variance can be again having the usual denotion sigma suffix, the denotion of the random parameter here, either it is a variable or the process, and that sigma is squared here. So for x of n, the random process here, we have this mathematical representation. So here we have sigma suffix n, sigma suffix x squared as a function of n, which is obtained by carrying out the expected value or the mean for the square of the mod difference of, here we have x of n minus mx as a function of n. So the latter part is nothing but the mean here that we have seen just into the first formula. So the mean is to be subtracted from the random process itself, and the difference taken as a mod that is positive is to be squared here, and for the same the expected value or the mean average is to be carried out here. So this defines the variance process here. So here we are learned the two important ensemble averages, those are mean and the variance for the random process. As we go further, the mean defines the average value of the process, and it is of course a function of n. The variance represent the average squared deviation of the random process, and this is away from the mean here. Now along with these two, there are two additional ensemble averages, and these two additional ensemble averages are very important into the study of random processes, and these are nothing but the covariance and the correlation, and when they have been taken for the same random process, they have been called as auto covariance and auto correlation here. So the auto covariance can be mathematically represented by this equation. The representation for auto covariance is c suffix x as a function of k comma l here. So small c is assigned to have the representation of autocovariance, and it is calculated by having the expected value of the multiplication of the two brackets. The first bracket is here, the square bracket, and another square bracket is denoted with the asterisk to its power. So it is the complex conjugate. So into the first square bracket, here we have x of k minus mx of k here. So mx of k is the mean of the random process x of k here. So mean is to be subtracted from the random process itself, and here we have x of l minus x of l, and this is into the conjugate here. Now, along with this autocovariance, as said, we have the autocorrelation, and mathematically it is represented by this equation. So, in this equation, the autocorrelation is represented small r suffix x as a function of k comma l here, and it is the expected value of the product of x of k with the x of l conjugate represented by the asterisk here. So hereafter, always and always remember, the autocorrelation representation is most of the time used for the further analysis and the learnings of the random processes. So it is r suffix x in the bracket, a function of k comma l here. So in both of these representations, either you take autocovariance or the auto correlation here, the random variables x of k and x of l have been related. Now, for these two representations for x of k and x of l, if we take the case that k is nothing but l, so that time the autocovariance function will be reduced to the variance here. So the mathematical representation for this particular node can be, here we have the autocovariance onto the left hand side, c suffix x as a function of k comma k. Here the substitution of L is made to K, as both are the same here, and it is nothing but the variance sigma suffix x squared as a function of K here. Now if we have for the random process under consideration the mean value to be 0, so we shall call it to be the zero mean random process. The autocovariance and the autocorrelation both shall be equal here. So this is also another important note, the autocovariance here, that can be represented as c suffix x, and the autocorrelation, that is r suffix x here for the random process x of n, x of k here. So for the zero mean case, they will be very much equal. Next to that, if we have the autocovariance and autocorrelation sequences, those provide the information about the statistical relationship between these two random variables. They can be derived from the same process. The representation is like this. So here, if we have given the two random processes x of n and y of n, the cross covariance is defined here. So for the single case here, we have the auto covariance and auto correlation. For the two cases here, x of n and the y of n, we have the cross covariance here. So there it is, the role of x and the y. Those are the different random processes here. So c suffix xy as a function of k comma l, here it is nothing but the expected value of the product of, first of all, x of k minus mx of k, the mean value, and the conjugate of y of l minus my of l. So here it is the mean here, which is to be subtracted here. So this is with respect to the cross covariance. Now for the cross correlation, we have again the representation by the r here. but into the suffix, as like for the cross covariance, we have x and y together here. So r suffix xy as a function of k comma l, we obtain the expected value of x of k in multiplication to the conjugate y of l here. So for the auto case, we have been simply having the symbolic notation by c suffix x only, r suffix x only. But for the cross covariance and the cross correlation, we have c suffix xy, r suffix xy here. Now, moving further, the details of these two functions, those are very much important. So, they will be satisfying a relation, and the relation between the two is given in this formulation. On to the left hand side, you can see here it is the autocovariance c suffix xy in the bracket k comma l. So it can be obtained by having the mx of k into my of l conjugate subtracted from the auto. Here it is the cross correlation here, r suffix xy as a function of k comma here. So here it is the cross covariance and here it is the cross correlation here. Now here if you take the random processes x of n and y of n, the uncorrelatedness, the condition can be satisfied when we have the cross covariance, that is represented c suffix xy in the bracket k comma l to be equal to 0 here. Now if we have for all the values of k and l or equivalently, we can have the representation for r suffix xy as a function of k comma l obtained as mx of k into the conjugate of my of l here. Now here the two random processes x of n and y of n have been considered, and after this condition of uncorrelatedness, we can go for the orthogonality condition. So for orthogonality condition, when the cross correlation of the two is equal to 0, the orthogonality can be considered here. So mathematically we are representing the cross correlation r suffix xy as a function of k comma l. This is equal to 0 here. So along with this knowledge for the uncorrelatedness and orthogonality, we have one more information with respect to these ensemble averages, and that we can discuss in terms of a property here. So the property with respect to these ensemble averages for the random processes x of n and y of n together, if we have taken, can be stated as if the two random processes x of n and y of n are uncorrelated, then the autocorrelation of the summation, here it is the addition of the two, can be represented here. So x of n when added to y of n, the sum or the addition we represent by the another random process z of n, and this z of n is equal to, here it is the autocorrelation of the summation is equal to the individual autocorrelations added to each other. So this is the last mathematical relation that gives the details. R suffix z as a function of k comma l, here it is the autocorrelation of this random process which is having the individual summation of these two, and rx of k comma l and ry of k comma l are the autocorrelation functions to these individual random processes here. So this is the very important property. So if we have z of n, a summation of x of n and y of n, so its autocorrelation r of z is of course the summation of individual autocorrelations here. So with this knowledge, we conclude our topic random processes ensemble averages. Hereupon we have learned the very important ensemble averages, the usual one, mean and the variance here, and along with we have the autocorrelation, autocovariance, the cross covariance and cross correlations here. Now into the next lecture we shall continue into the same chapter, and the topic title, it will be the Gaussian processes, the very popular in the probability theory. Thank you.